This concerns the devices that these officers use to issue electronic tickets. My question to you is, if an officer is writing someone a ticket at a fixed location with somebody else there as a spotter or a witness, and then one officer leaves that location, goes somewhere else, and doesn't erase the information from the previous location, can the ticket writer go into default and put the information from that previous stop into a new stop that that officer is making?
I don't know.
Why did you relieve them of duty, sir?
Well, we certainly had enough information and evidence that we believe that warrants an investigation, not only administrative investigation, but a criminal investigation. I will say this, I'm not going to rush to judgment. These officers are constitutionally innocent. They have not been cited with any policy violations. They do have due process. And there is a process, the way that we investigate police officers. It's outlined in the Texas Local Government Code, Chapter 143, that specifies in detail what the Chief of Police and the Houston Police Department must do to conduct an investigation. Now, I will say this in general. If I have a police officer that misrepresents, falsifies a government document, that could be a criminal offense. And when the department becomes aware or believes that there may be some evidence to lead that, in an abundance of caution, we always relieve the officers of duty when they're under criminal investigation. And this is no different. And they are relieved of duty administratively. So it's not like that they're home.
Will the functionality of these electronic ticket writing machines that these officers use in the field, will they be part of this investigation to see if they are in fact working correctly or if there may be some issues with them?
Yes, they will.
So you will be looking specifically at these machines that these
Yes.
officers have been using?
That's correct.
Chief,
I've already had this discussion with my AD.
Chief, a couple of months ago, Senior Police Officer William K. Brown was relieved of duty. Were these 4 officers recently relieved of duty? Are they connected to that case? Can you talk about that at all?
No, I'm not aware of. I don't know. I do believe that that is a separate investigation. Still an open investigation, so no, that I can't discuss that matter.
Do you anticipate any other officers being relieved of duty in regards to
we have
this?
officers that are relieved of duty from time to time throughout this organization, and it can happen at any time. I will say this, the majority of officers that are relieved of duty after the investigation are concluded, many of them return to their normal duties. Some do face disciplinary action. And there are some that face the most severe disciplinary action. They're fired or indefinitely suspended from this organization. But there's only a small number of HPD employees, police officers and classified, that ever get investigated for policy or procedure or criminal allegations. I want to say that first and foremost. Very, very small percentage.
Do you think the allegations in this case would rise to a suspension or a firing?
We don't know until the investigation. I just emphasize why it's important to wait till the conclusion of an investigation. It certainly would be irresponsible on my part to speculate or say what might happen when I don't know the facts. That's why I do believe I'm in the best position to decide what is the ultimate punishment or corrective action. Because when the investigation is completed, I am one of the few individuals in the entire organization that have all of the facts.
So Chief, on that Speaking of that, former Sergeant Chandler's arbitration hearing, trying to get his job back, what do you think of that?
Well, I think that that is his due process right. It is outlined in the Texas Government Code under Chapter 143. He has those appellate rights. I understand my decisions are reviewable, questioned by an independent arbitrator, and I have to live with the process. Those processes are codified in state law, and as long as I'm the chief, I have to live with that. But since that arbitration has started and is ongoing, the only thing that I can say about that particular case is I stand by all previous statements.
Chief,
You
what do you
had
tell
said-
citizens out there, due process swings both ways? If they get pulled over for an alleged speeding violation, they should have a level playing field, and they have their right to have their day in court. Based on records, not only tickets, but GPS records, has that level playing field been tilted in any way, and does that concern you? And secondly, sir, we're prepared to report tonight that, in one case at least, records show an officer not only listed himself on a ticket as a witness when he wasn't there, but he testified on the stand in a trial. Your reaction?
Well, my reaction is this is why we wait to the outcome and we gather all the facts of the investigation, Jeremy, because Andy just made an important point. What if the device does not default or erase when two officers are together? That will change what you're asking me. Two, is it a level playing field and the citizens have due process? Absolutely. If I were questioned by someone, hey chief, I received a speeding ticket and I don't think that I was speeding and I'm going to contest this thing in court. That's what you should do. And you should get with your attorney, represent yourself, and subpoena any records that you think may help your case from the Houston Police Department. And take your evidence into court and present that to a judge and jury. You got to remember, when police officers write a citation, when we arrest someone and we charge someone with a crime, the police officer does not, cannot determine guilt or innocence. Guilt or innocence is only determined by a judge or jury.